So I quit my job with no backup plan, with no savings, with no other job lined up. I decided to walk away because the job was not worth my mental health. It was not worth me continuing to be drained and sucked dry. Most people would have thought that I had a wonderful situation, right? I had a work from home job. Not only did I work from home, I was not on the phones. My schedule was pretty flexible, right? And I think because of that, I had gotten comfortable and I stayed there for 7 years before I decided to leave. I would watch videos on YouTube of like people that, quit their job and things like that, but I never had that in me, right? My stability to me was first and foremost. And obviously when you have people depending upon you, you can't just make rash decisions, right? Now, I'm not in no way, shape, or form encouraging anybody to do what I did. I'm just simply giving you my experience and sharing with you my experience. I saw a video on TikTok and the young lady said that the true shift comes when you choose yourself in every different category. And one thing that she mentioned was, will you choose yourself? Will you sacrifice yourself as it relates to employment? Will you sacrifice your purpose for a sense of safety? And that hit me like a ton of bricks. But I still stayed. It wasn't until things got so uncomfortable at work, so uncomfortable to the point to where my mental health it went down the drain. I had probably one of the hardest, roughest times that I think I've ever experienced. And I was already in therapy and things like that. I've been very open about that on this channel. And talking with my therapist, she was like, you need to take some time to yourself. And it got to the point where I was Monday through Friday, and Sunday nights I would be like, I'd be stressing out, crying. Like I just did not want to go to work the next day. Like the pressure that was there. They did a lot of shifting within my job. And so we had gotten a new manager and the manager hated me. She made my life I was so miserable. There is no other explanation for it. My level of stress was through the roof because there was a lot of unrealistic requirements that were being implemented by leadership because we were overstaffed. And so they were purposely trying to do things to make people want to quit, so on and so forth. I ended up taking some time off at my therapist's recommendation. I agreed with her that that's what I needed as well. And I kid you not, these people sent me through the ringer on that. And I can't get so much into that right now, just simply because I still have some unfinished business in terms of a lawsuit. So I don't want to get too much into that until after all of that is settled. But it got to a point to where I just had to quit. I had to say, you know what? The time is now. It is now in my mental health for this job. And I can't say that everything has been easy. I cannot say that everything has been a walk in the park because it has not. I've had times to where I've had to cry. I've had to, but I have also gained my peace of mind back. I've also gained my freedom. I've also gained I don't feel so much pressure, I guess you could say, as it relates to, well, if I don't show up for these people, this is going to happen and so on and so forth, right? I don't feel like there's any repercussions for, if I don't feel like doing something for the day. If I don't feel like doing something for the day for myself, then that's on me. As you guys know, I do own a vegan food truck. I also do own a wellness brand, but I have not scaled those to where they need to be for them to be fully sustainable for me. And so a part of this is me being transparent, but the other part of this is also me documenting my journey of building my businesses. Although I've had my food truck for the past 5 years now, I've been doing that around my 9 to 5. The wellness brand, I've always had those things, but I just barely put them on the website. What my son did, we barely just made it into a website last year. So with that being said, I don't know exactly all of the ins and outs, but what I do know is that I'm okay. What I do know is that I have a roof over my head. What I do know is I have running water, I have electricity, and that I have everything that I need. This situation has also taught me about community, about support, and just real friends. I always think back to this book that I read by I can't even think of it right now. But my sister sent it to me. Vibrate Higher is the name of the book. But she talked about how real friendships are nourishing to the soul. And that is so true. Y'all, people have been so sweet to me, so loving to me, and have shown me so much grace and care and tenderness at this time. Whether that have been, I had a friend that came out and we went to go get, I might get emotional, but I'm okay. We went to go sit down and eat. And then we walked around, we went and got ice cream and we walked around. And I needed that at that time, probably more than he will ever know. But it was just so nice just to be in great company, great conversation, and just to simply be around someone who cares about you. You know, and I think sometimes you don't realize how much you're loved and how much you cared about until you actually open your arms up to receive. And I mean, my children, my daughter, like, there's just the amount of love. I just cannot stress that enough. I don't want to be redundant, but the amount of love that I have received has just been everything that I have needed. And I've always been the giver, right? I've always been, I got to do this. I need to do this. I need to do that. And to be in a position to where I'm like, hey guys, I'm being transparent. I'm being open. I'm being honest. I'm being vulnerable. This is what I need. And to have people pour into me has been healing on so many different levels. And also what has been healing, one thing that I've always struggled with is faith. I feel like I can see things happen for other people and not feel like, oh, this can happen for me. You know what I mean? But just making a decision to say, I have to do what I have to do, and trusting God, no matter what it looks like, trusting the situation, no matter what it looks like, keeping your eye on the prize. I've been having to grow in that. I feel like you can't say that you lack faith and then not be put in positions to where you have an opportunity to grow your faith. You can't say you lack patience, but then not be put in positions to where your patience is tested so that you can grow in that area. And so for this season for me, I've really been growing in faith. And I've also been feeding myself the things that I need to feed myself in terms of reading. I read this book called Life is My Guru that really touched me. I'm now reading this book by Kev on Stage about success and failure. So I just got that one. I'm gonna be reading that. I think you have to be so intentional about feeding yourself, about making sure that you just get the encouragement that you need, whether that be I make a pit stop and call, go to my daughter and be like, hey, like I'm feeling this way today. And the wisdom that I receive from her, or the wisdom that I receive from friends, you got this. And I never realized, for the longest time, I thought my love languages are quality time and physical touch. But I never realized how much I think over the years, I have become an acts of service type of girl, because I think when I was younger, I was like, I could do it. I would put everything on my plate and I managed it. I was used to doing a lot. And now at this stage, I'm like, dang, like it's nice when someone offers to do something and takes that load off of me. That makes my life easier. And also words of affirmation. I didn't realize how powerful that was, because I wasn't, and this is no shame to the way that I was raised, but I wasn't, and I never received affirmations like growing up outside of, you're a very pretty girl, right? But I never received like, dang, you're so smart, or you're so this. And so I didn't know how powerful those things are. Like if somebody tries my food and they rant and rave about it, I'm like, it feels so good. So I think all in all, again, this is my journey. I'm documenting it. I left my job back in December. It is now March. And so it has been, I've had some challenges, but all in all, I'm just fine. And one thing I do know is that when you just get moving, when you have a plan, right? And also too, I'm gonna tap on that real quick and then I'm gonna wrap this up. But for me, I feel like in the past I had made decisions that I didn't like the result of those decisions that I had made. I'm learning that I still have to make a decision, because indecision is a decision, right? And being in limbo and not making a decision will keep you in the wilderness, which I was in the wilderness for, I'm not going to say 7 years, because I think for the first 3 years, everything was copacetic. I'm going to say I was in the wilderness for a good 4 years, doing the same things, on the same routines, waking up every day, just nothing was changing. I also didn't realize how financially stable I was. I thought like, dang, like I don't make enough here, this and this and that. But leaving that job showed me like, dang, you may not make as much as you like, but I was stable. I had money to do with the things that I wanted to do. And also being 41, right? And being in this position to where I'm like, I'm letting my credit fall. I'm letting just things just simply be, right? I feel like so much of what I've tried to hold on to and maintain and this and this and that. I'm not saying those things aren't important, but what I'm saying is for where it is that I desire to be, which is fully working for myself, which is fully scaling my business to be able to have the freedom that I want, to be able to create something for my kids to have as well. I think that for me, that outweighs my credit taking hits, or me not being able to do, maybe we used to go to resorts all the time. We ain't been in no resorts, things like that, right? But coming to a spot of sacrificing for right now so that I can have what it is that I want to have, right? It's sacrificing the short-term gratification for that long-term satisfaction. And that's where I'm at with it. So I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys. I'm going to keep it raw, honest, and just the truth. I am going to document all of this. So just stay tuned. And I look forward to you guys growing with me. And thank you for being a part of this journey. And I will see y'all in the next video, which will probably be a sit down video because I got more stuff I gotta talk about, but we'll see y'all then.